6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. We'll have a live bet stream right here on Pub Sports Radio where they will be battling for the Vince Lombardi trophy. Right behind me, right there. The Vince Lombardi trophy. Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, 14-3 in the regular season, 2-0 in the playoffs, meeting here at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Let's start with the line history. Now, the look-ahead lines for Super Bowl 57 were the Chiefs 1-point neutral site favorites over the Eagles. That was not what we saw from the openers. Some books open this up with the Eagles -2.5. Pinnacle opened this up with the Eagles -2. And right now, the Eagles are -1 at -110. The Eagles opened up on the money line at Pinnacle at -133. As of 5 days ago, they got down to -112. They have been sitting at -119 for the last little while. Totals-wise, we've seen a lot of movement here. This opened up at 49.5. It got all the way up to 51. It is now sitting at 50.5. Let's go over to the cash flow here. 259,753 tickets have been counted, and it's pretty simple. 60% of the tickets and 60% of the cash on the spread are on the Philadelphia Eagles. 49% of the tickets and 61% of the cash on the money line are on the Philadelphia Eagles. And 55% of the tickets, 62% of the cash are on the over. The Chiefs come in off a 23-20 victory at home over the Bengals. Despite the high ankle sprain, Patrick Mahomes went 29 of 43 for 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. MVS, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, caught 6 passes for 116 yards and 1 touchdown. Kelsey caught 7 passes for 78 yards and a touchdown. Their running game was completely shut down by the Bengals. The Chiefs finished with 20 carries for 42 yards. I think that the Eagles are more than capable of shutting down Pacheco and the Chiefs' run game. Again, that doesn't necessarily equate to a victory, but I expect the Eagles' defense to shut down the Chiefs' running game. Pacheco was held to 26 yards on 10 carries. He did catch 5 passes for 59 yards. That came as a bit of a surprise, as Pacheco had only caught 5 passes total in his previous 5 games. The Chiefs were 7 of 14 on third down, and they made the crucial plays to get a chance to compete for Super Bowl 57 and play in their 3rd Super Bowl in 4 years. The Chiefs are special on third down. We know that. The Chiefs have a third down conversion rate on 3rd and 10 or more of 43% this season. That's unbelievable. That's more than double the league average. That's unbelievable. Defensively, they got 5 sacks and 12 quarterback hits. I believe they are simply not going to be able to do that against the best offensive line in the league in the Eagles. The Chiefs are going to have to stop the Eagles. Can they do that? I think that's the biggest question in this game for me. Burrow was sacked 3 times in the first quarter, and the Bengals offense did not gain a single yard. I do not see that happening here. We know that the Chiefs' offense is excellent. Number 1 in DVOA this year. Philly was 3rd. The Eagles have a much better defense than the Chiefs, except if you look at the Chiefs from week 16 on. From week 16 on, the Chiefs have a number 7 defensive DVOA, and they close the gap on this excellent Eagles defense. The Chiefs defense, though, has a lot of holes. They allow successful plays on 56% of their rush attempts in the fourth quarter. That's the worst in the NFL. They allow 27 touchdown receptions in the red zone. That's the most in the NFL. The Eagles can take advantage of that, and I expect them to do just that. This Chiefs defense struggles in the fourth quarter, struggle in the red zone, and they allow 4.5 yards per carry and the 5th most rushing yards to quarterbacks in the regular season. That is the Eagles' bread and butter. The Chiefs are dealing with injuries to their receivers, Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, McCole Hardman, and they have injuries to Willie Gay and L'Jarius Sneed. I know a lot of people are talking about Jalen Hurts and what's going on with his shoulder, but we'll start here. Hardman was placed on injured reserve. Everybody else seems to be fine. Snead cleared concussion protocols. Willie Gay has a shoulder injury. He has listed as questionable. He's been a limited participant in practice, but that guy's one tough hombre. Juju Smith-Schuster returned to practice with his knee injury. Kadarius Toney's listed as probable, says he will definitely play. The Eagles come in off a very comfortable 31-7 victory at home over the 49ers. The 49ers lose Brock Purdy to a torn ligament in his elbow, and the Eagles slowly suffocated them. I believe it is a mistake to judge the Eagles' offense from that game. There was no need whatsoever to take any risks against a team that couldn't hurt them. Hurts was 15-25 for 121 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. He also ran 11 times for 39 yards. We know that the Chiefs give up a ton of yardage to the quarterback. If you are looking at props, you have to question, what is Jalen Hurts' shoulder injury, and will he be comfortable running? He's 16-1 as a starter this year. The Eagles ran 44 times for 148 yards. Kenneth Gainwell led all rushers with 14 carries for 48 yards. Miles Sanders ran 11 times for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Devonta Smith led all receivers in the game with 36 yards receiving. Unbelievable that Billy Brisbane was able to cash that prop. Devonta to lead all receivers in receiving yards, and he got it at 36. The Eagles have scored 4.8 points per red zone drive this year. That's second best in the league. The Chiefs have allowed 4.6. That's third worst. The Eagles have scored 40 touchdowns in the red zone this season. The Chiefs, that's third in the NFL. The Chiefs allowed 37. That's tied for third. There's a belief, and I had it once myself, that if this game was close, the Chiefs have a genuine advantage with Mahomes at quarterback. I don't know anymore. The Eagles have a third down conversion rate of 48.4% in the fourth quarter. That's phenomenal. That's second best in the NFL. The Chiefs defense have allowed a third down conversion rate of 46.3% in the fourth quarter. That's fourth worst. Against the Niners, the Eagles got 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits. They held the Niners to 164 yards. I know those numbers don't really count when you're talking about a team that didn't have a quarterback, but this is an Eagles defense that had 70 sacks. Now, the Chiefs had 55. The Chiefs have 7 players with at least 3.5 sacks, but the Eagles have the best offensive line in the league. Philly allowed the least passing yards per game, the second fewest yards per game, and we're top 10 in scoring defense. They sacked opposing quarterbacks on 11% of pass attempts. We've seen what Darius Slay and James Bradbury are capable of doing. Now you can say the Eagles had one of the easiest schedules in the NFL and had playoff games against Daniel Jones and the 49er team that was down to no quarterback. Those are valid statements. I want to bet the Philadelphia Eagles. I plan to bet them, take them on the money line, and get paid. I would like to hear from everybody in the chat. How are you getting paid? What are your best spots? What are your best bets? Newkirk Kelsey anytime touchdown at -110. Harold Williams is on Eagles -1.5 and the Eagles money line. We want to know what you guys are doing to get paid in full. Sky Dragon says Kansas City's elite pass rush can be negated by Philadelphia's offensive line. Philly's run game, the best in Kansas City's been all year. Kansas City secondary inexperienced and can be beat. Philly will move the ball. Look, I love what McDuffie was doing, 21st overall pick. I think that knowing now that L'Jarius Sneed is healthy, I do think that the Chiefs secondary got better and better and better as the season goes on, but I think there's a lot of truth in what you're saying. Sky Dragon says Hurts is fine. He refused to take hits in the 2 games versus the Giants. He was lowering the shoulder against San Francisco. He had 2 extra weeks. He is fine. It is time for 9 different cappers who we have tracked all season long to give us their best bets. I thought about, do I want the first half under? It's a bet I make in a lot of these championship games, whether it being a Super Bowl or a Grey Cup. Or do I just want to keep it so clean, bet the Eagles on the money line, and have a K ready to go for live betting after going 8-8 in the conference finals? I'm leaning towards that. I'm leaning towards everybody keeping it clean. Your first guest has been spectacular all season long. He had a lead here, as we track everybody, of double-digit units all season long. Right now, his lead over the big Ragoo is down to 1.13 units. but he's been spectacular. 96 wins, 71 losses, plus 18.7 units. What a season he has had. And in this spectacular season, he's done 16 shows. What consistency at high volume. Please welcome your current leader in our NFL Pub Hub from Canada's Black and Yellow, Mr. Ian Cameron. The floor is yours. What are your official picks here in our final NFL Pub Hub of the year? You have a 1.13 unit lead on the big Ragoo, last year's champion. And win or lose, you've been spectacular this year and deserve to be presented a trophy at Pubapalooza in San Antonio just 2 months from now. Take it away, Bobano. They don't need to hear anything more from me tonight. They want to hear from you guys. The floor is yours.
Yeah, this Super Bowl has me, at least from there are a bunch of props that I like, and I will get to them in a few minutes. It's gonna be more of a prop based segment here for yours truly, but because the side does have me perplexed a little bit. There are concerns about how easy Philly had it coming into this game. There are concerns about Hurts a little bit. I don't like, maybe it's part of it was because they had a huge lead against San Francisco, but thought passing the football was not his best day, in terms of accuracy, in terms of putting the football right where you wanted him to. I mean, even the great first touchdown drive that the Eagles had, that was a spectacular catch by Devontae Smith on a ball I think that was a little bit overthrown. So there are some concerns there. I keep coming back to the same thing. I do lean Philadelphia here early in the week, that I just think it's a better roster around the quarterback. I like their O-line. I like their defensive line. I like their secondary. I like the linebacking core. I think for Kansas City, there's a few more holes in their roster. But at the end of the day, you've got Patrick Mahomes on your team, who's just spectacular, who wills his team to victory, who makes incredible plays out of nothing. Something that the Philadelphia Eagles did not see at all when they played San Francisco or the Giants, this kind of playmaking ability from the quarterback spot. So I think it's going to be a hell of a football game. And another thing that's bothering me too from wanting to back Philly is Kansas City's injury report, which we were all thinking doom and gloom when the AFC Championship game ended. Mahomes with his ankle, 3 receivers banged up, the best cornerback on the team, L'Jarius Sneed, all in doubt for this game. Well, they're all going to be on the field, it looks like. This injury report's cleared up remarkably well for the Kansas City Chiefs going into this game. But when I look at this matchup here, Kansas City with the quarterback alone is good enough to win this football game. So I'm parking myself in terms of the side in this game. I lean Philly early in the week. As far as the total goes, the way I see it, I think the push to the over is warranted in this football game. I will make that play official for the show, the first official play, the total here, the full game over, because Philadelphia obviously was in a protect the lead mode, run the football mode, get the game over with mode against San Francisco. I think you're going to see a competitive game. You're going to have to see two teams that end up, having to be aggressive throughout the course of the football game. And I think when you look at it as well from a Philadelphia perspective, we know this is a big play offense, and Kansas City can be susceptible to giving those up. Philadelphia's defense, on the other hand, when you look at Kansas City's offense going into this game, you like what they were able to do running the football with Pacheco. I think it's going to be a little more difficult against Philly, but they were able to stay balanced. That, to me, is definitely going to help them going into this game. So I think when it's all said and done, because of the fact you had Kansas City, obviously show a little bit of a defensive resistance against Cincinnati, you're keeping this total maybe a little lower than it could have been. Philadelphia off the game against the Giants, the game against the Niners, which were blowout games, one-sided. You put those factors together, and I think now we can expect, after a couple weeks of unders, the worm to turn a little bit. So I like over 50.5. Looks like that's the best number right now, -110 at PointsBet. We will lock that in for the total.
Let's bring on your next guest, coming to us from Brooklyn. Now, he was only with us for 7 different shows this year, but he won our Cappers contest at Pub Sports Radio, picked up a little under $3K, and we're going to have a bigger, badder one coming up next year. But our first champion in NFL Cappers contest, and his record would have been just out of the top 50 in the circa millions. He was spectacular. With us on the show, he is 12 and 11 plus 0.12 units. He's coming off a 3-1 conference week, up plus 1.89 units. And he's here to rock with us right now. A man I've looked up to since I've started, and a man we all emulate. He taught us about transparency and accountability and honesty, 3 things that are missing in this industry. Please welcome from Brooklyn, Mr. Peter Losak.
How's it going, Jimmy? The first-time viewers might have been like, that guy with that intro looks like that.
But we come from we're cut from your cloth, Peter. Yeah. How are you getting paid here? Super Bowl 57.
Well, I'm focusing on college basketball right now, so I have not looked into all these props and everything like everyone else has. I will say this. I made one bet at the beginning of the playoffs for a futures bet, and that was on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I got plus 550. So that's my only bet that I have hanging right now. My cap of the game, I think I like the Chiefs. Although the more I look into it, it makes me more and more nervous. Obviously, the health of those receivers is paramount, and the other guys too, the guys on defense as well. They got to have Tony or Juju. I mean, I'm assuming that they're going to be 100%, but that might not be a smart assumption to make. They need to be 100%. And I think Philly's scary, right? The offensive line is vicious, right? Now, if I were the coach of Philly, I would have them run a lot. I don't necessarily, we know how Jalen Hurts deals with pressure, not so great. You know, a lot of people are talking about Hurts's shoulder. I'm not worried about Hurts's shoulder. I'm worried about just Hurts in general. Not that I'm worried about him, but, you know, he's obviously an awesome quarterback, but he's not Mahomes. You know what I mean? And so I am worried about Hurts, not because of the injury. The injury means nothing. I'm just worried about his ability to, in the prime time, under pressure, to throw long. Those are all things, you know, when he was with Alabama, he didn't do great in the title game. You know, his numbers aren't that great under pressure. His numbers throwing long aren't that great. On the other hand, Philly has a legit awesome offensive line, which is maybe even underrated. They're awesome, and maybe even a little bit more awesome than people give him credit for. Hurts is an awesome runner. They got 3 good running backs. So if I were the Eagles, I would run a lot.
You know, I can't help but brag about your next guest just because of his consistency, how he does it in every sport, how he does it with such class. So I'm just always going to, you know, look, I call it how it is, man. And he's also going to be in San Antonio with us. So those of you who have never run with a legend who's G'd up from the feet up, and blued up from the shoe up, and everything that we are aspiring to be, you can come down to San Antonio and see it in person. You can also see him cash in 11 of 12 shows, in 8 straight shows. 57 and 41 plus 17.57 units. Our champion last year, and now a 1.13 units out of being our champion this year. God, numbers don't lie. Please welcome your next guest from Ocala, Florida, the big Ragoo in the house.
That's what happens, my man. When you run in good company, it kind of bleeds over. And yes, this is the Eagles, but not the Eagles that are playing on Sunday. It's the Hotel California Eagles, just in case you're wondering. But good to be with you guys. What a wonderful show. This is better. You know, I watched the Grammys Sunday night, and this is better than the Grammys because the company I'm keeping, we got all-stars all over the place, and guess what? We're getting fucking paid. How are we going to get paid, Jimmy? That's always, you know, the Super Bowl is one of these games where a good friend of mine used to call it, it's a game for amateurs betting-wise. Because, you know, when they first started the big prop markets, that's where it all started in the Super Bowl. But over the years, you know, you just kind of get wise to certain things and you learn to step back. Some of my biggest cashers, single-day cashers, have been the Super Bowl. So hopefully I continue that. You know, I've been successful betting Super Bowls. The last few, you know, I won last year, and I won the year that the Tampa Bay beat them. I think I lost 2 Super Bowls back. But anyways, pretty successful in the Super Bowl. But the key is how to get paid in these games and not to get sucked in with all the props, you know, which there are a ton of props that I like too. Don't get me wrong. I've been more in the prop market this year than any year, you know, just because I found some things that have been interesting and some things that, you know, just not interesting. But what I like to do in the Super Bowl, one of my strategies is I like the ladder bet because these games go one or two ways. They're either complete blowouts or they're nail biters to the end. So you usually don't get a tweener type of game. So the way these teams are built right now, the way Philadelphia is in the trenches, defense, offense, offensive line, like you spoke about it, is tremendous. Their defense is fantastic. KC, their defense was pretty good during the playoffs. But I think the offensive line, and to me, this whole game boils down to this. It's going to be Philadelphia's defense, front seven, versus that Kansas City O-line. And if they just bring a little bit of extra pressure to Mahomes, I think he's fine. He's going to be okay, but he's not going to be 100%. An 80% Mahomes is better than 80% of the quarterbacks in the league. Give it out of the take. But he's going to have to be on his A game to beat this Philly squad for sure. So I just think that's going to present some issues for the timing of their plays. Now, Kansas City's defense is going to be up to the task, but when they get in the red zone, they can be very vulnerable, like you had said before. So I think this is going to come down to, red zone opportunities and then, the time that Mahomes has in the pocket. I think he's becoming more of a traditional type quarterback. He sees the game like nobody else can see it. He slows the game down. He's able to pick things apart. And that's, the experience is there for him. Reed's a championship Hall of Fame coach. Mahomes is going to be a Hall of Famer. So now you got the young squad. It hurts. He's probably the offensive player of the year in my book. He's turned the page. He's come back from, being a mediocre quarterback to stepping his game up in a big way. And, he's had a lot of help, and you got to give Sirianni a lot of credit to that too. So if they win this game, he'll be the coach of the year too. So I'm not going to have any plays on any MVP type stuff, but I think the way this game is going to go early on, we'll probably see it filling out play like we always do. We talk about the unders the first half. I lean that way, but I couldn't do it. So I was trying to bet this game clean like you. So the latter play for me is going to be on the Eagles here. And I like the Eagles to come away with the win. So my bets are going to roll like this. Let me pull them up here. I got them on a ticket. So
let me mention something while you pull it up on the ticket quickly, is because honestly, I don't see an outcome where I don't see a situation where the Chiefs destroy the Eagles.
No.
If one team beats another team by double digits, it's the Eagles beating up the Chiefs. It's Mahomes' ankle sprain or something happening to Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's I just don't see the opposite. So I'm fascinated with this plan of yours, and take it away. I'm writing.
Okay, so I'm going to start out with the straight play on the Eagles. That's the easy thing to figure out there. So I'm gonna throw a unit at the 1.5. What the line is, the current line. Then I'm also gonna take. Get your pencil ready. I'm gonna take the Eagles minus 4.5 at plus 1. These are all DraftKings numbers, current 147 plus. I'm gonna take the Eagles minus 10 at plus 327. And I got to take a step back. I take Eagles minus 6.5 at plus 189, and minus 10 at plus 327. So you got 4.5, 6.5, and 10. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That is
okay.
That's what. Yeah.
Then I'm going to also take the Eagles over 26.5 points for the game at minus 105. Now I do want to bet the halves. So I was looking at some props there and how I'm going to play those. I'm all going to play them to the Eagles to win the game outright, full game. But I have a tie in the first half with the Eagles to win the game at plus 1,900.
Oh, wow.
Then I have, just in case the Eagles don't win the first half, I got the Chiefs first half, Eagles full game plus 750.
Oh, wow. What a fascinating way of handling it.
Yeah.
Just win full game at plus 750.
And if you really want to beat them, now I got to check into the rules on this one. They got a bet here. It says Philadelphia Eagles to win both halves. So I don't know. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, first half full game.
Yeah. They got it plus 350. So in reality, if the Eagles win the game, you still make money on all those bets because you're still going to come out at the worst case scenario plus 350. You come up by half a unit. So
So are you also adding Eagles first
Yeah,
half?
let me do that now that I think about it.
Okay, first half, full game, and what was that number at? Plus,
Yeah, Eagles to win both halves. It says plus 350.
yeah. Your next guest has had the best single week of anybody on this entire season. On wild card week, he went 10-2 plus 9.75 units. He's been throwing a big quantity of action. In the regular season, he only had 1 week where he made 5 bets. A lot of weeks with 3 bets, some with 4, but he never pushed it. Then wild card, he had 12. Divisional round, he had 11. Conference finals, he went 16. He's firing shots, and I love working with him. Please welcome from South Jersey, Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, what up, my man? How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Can you see me?
Yeah, your money.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Another Tuesday night in the association, getting ready for some Lakers Thunder basketball, but we got to make some time for some NFL. This is the best time of the year. You get in early on the props, and I couldn't give you everything that I like because everything isn't out yet, but we get a good sample here. But I will say my largest bet of the weekend will be placed on the Gatorade color.
Well, the floor is yours, Brizzy, and you've earned the right to have it. So take it away. Billy Brisbane getting Bills Super Bowl action.
Yeah, we'll start off with the square plays right off the bat. Usually don't ever really play teasers, but Super Bowl time is usually the best time to play teasers. I like the 7-point teaser this weekend. Like the Eagles plus 7.5 and the over 43.5, minus 151 at FanDuel Sportsbook.
Minus 151. Brizzy getting started with the Eagles plus 7.5 and the over 43.5 at minus 151. Keep rolling. We're moving on to our next guest. We go from South Jersey up to Kingston, Ontario for your next guest. And he has been excellent this year. He had a rough divisional round here that set his record back, but we all cap with him and we know his skill set. So Super Bowl bounce back for your next guest. Please welcome Birdy to the show. Birdy, how are you, my friend?
I'm very good, thank you. Well, Super Bowl bounce back, we'll see, because it sounds like I'm going to be totally opposite of everybody that's been on the show thus far. Yeah, it's the way the year's gone. I mean, I bet San Fran and they lose their third and fourth string quarterback. It's just the way the year's gone. But hey, the record is what it is. This is a great show. There's great cappers on it. I learn a lot from everybody here, and it only makes you better, and I'm ready to go tonight.
DX Filer says, Birdy on KC.
Yes, sir, DX. Yes, sir.
Well, take it away, buddy. The floor is yours.
The reality is we have a quarterback that's now in his third Super Bowl, and we have a quarterback that's in his first Super Bowl. To me, that until Hurts shows me in a big game that he can be the guy, I am going to go with Patrick Mahomes here. Just a few things that I like about KC in this spot. Against the NFC, they scored 24, 26, 44, 41, and 44 points against NFC teams. On the road, they've scored 44, 41, 44, 30, 31, 30, 34, and 24 this year. So on the road against the NFC, I like what Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Spags can do in this game. One of the things I learned this week is Spagnuolo in the playoffs, in the Super Bowl specifically, amps up his pressure. KC's not really they're like the Eagles for most of the year. They rush for. Spags brings the pressure. He ups it about 25 to 30%. I mean, he's beat Tom Brady. He beat the 49ers, but that Brady win that year when they were 15-0, all they had was a front four and 2 linebackers. And they got enough pressure on Brady that he just couldn't function. Different type of quarterback, I understand. Hurts is a bit more mobile. But when you're in the biggest game of the year with every eyeball in the world looking at you, the pressure amps up, and it's hard. And I mean, his only other opportunity at a national championship, the coach thought so much of him, he benched him. So the reality of it is, I can't put my money on that guy right now. So if I go down on Kansas City, I go down on Kansas City. I just think Kansas City's got a bit more veteran presence with Mahomes, and it's going to shine through here. And I don't think the Eagles are going to score many points.
We go from Kingston back to NYC. Your next guest is as much of a legend as any of the cappers that we look up to, and he's not on our shows enough. And then I miss him. And he's here right now. He was only with us for 2 weeks during the season, and I can only hope that we get more of him in the future. I love the man. Please welcome New York City, Dommy Gun Ricci. Dommy, how are you, my man?
Jimmy. What's happening, everybody? How's everything?
Everything.
Good to see that face of yours.
Thank you, bud.
How's everybody out in Publand doing? We are rocking here in New York City. I'm excited. Super Bowl 5 days away. It's looking good. And shout out to Birdy, man. Birdy's the best. Love you, Birdy. A real nice thing he said about everybody. It's so sincere, and we know it's from the heart. So, man, got to shout out to Birdy.
But we're talking Super Bowl 57 here at Dommy Gun, and we want to know how you are getting paid in this one. Take it away. The floor is yours. Chiefs, Eagles.
But anyhow, my weird Super Bowl betting angle is which I've done 3 out of 4 years and have profited. I've done it 4 years, profited 3 years. And what I do is I parlay the team I like, which is the Eagles, in their money line, and I've been doing it since last week. And all the guys, at Who Bangin' and all in our chats that we have, our private chats with Doc and DJ and everybody, they all know what I've been doing. I have now, after tonight's over in the UConn game, that's another parlay I have with the Eagles money line. I have right now, last week I took James Madison twice with the Eagles at plus 204. Hit both of those. So I got the Eagles open plus 204 twice. Then last night I took a 3-teamer with Kansas minus 200, North Colorado -1 at minus 110 with the Eagles, and the money line went up to minus 125, the one I took last night. But that was plus 410. So then tonight I took Marquette, which I lost. I took the over 147.5 in that game, and then I took an extra bet and parlayed it with the Eagles again. So I hit that at plus 243. So now I really got a 5-1 money line on the Eagles right now. So of course I'm going to at least free roll, because I'm never going to not hedge that out somehow. I'm just not that risky of a player. I'm a grinder, and the older I get, the more I'm grinding. So that's just the way it is. But if this line would actually move a little bit, which I don't think it would, but if the Eagle money starts getting crazy and this actually moves to like 2.5, I'll put, it'll be great. I could actually middle some stupid middle, but it could happen, but I can't lose. So that's my way I play Super Bowls, and it's working out. I'm going to try to hit it 2 more times. For the parlays. And full disclosure, the 2-team parlays were only just $50 each, and the 3-teamer was $100. So now it's starting to get to be decent. Let's see. Maybe I'll be free rolling for $1,000 or better.
We go from New York City up to Toronto, and your next guest has put on quite a performance here. Sharpie had our next guest. Now I hammer thoroughbreds with him, and I know the kind of capper he is, but Sharpie was like, he came on live with us and cash this, cash that, cash this. We didn't get him on our show till week 8. Got him on week 8. He went 6-2 plus 3.88 units. He, on our show over the course of 7 weeks, went 26 wins, 18 losses, plus 9.81 units. Currently ranked 4th out of 21 cappers, and I love watching him work, man. This guy gets that cash. Please welcome from the 6, Mr. Spenny Penny Bombs. Spenny, how are you, my man?
How we doing, Jimmy? How we doing, chat? Let's get it going today. Let's get it going. We got a big week coming up.
You make a lot of moves, so I'm just going to be ready to type. I'm ready
Yep.
to track. So the floor is yours. Take it away. How you getting paid Super Bowl 57?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely spread out a little bit. I like to take some shots. That's just the way that I am. So I definitely got a couple of plays that I'm looking at here. Some prop markets. But let's start off first and foremost. I'm on KC. I'm on the KC money line. Give me the Chiefs. I was on the Bengals big time. I'm disappointed, obviously, that I can't get the Bengals home. But I know we've heard early in the season, what is Mahomes going to do without Hill? What's this offense going to look like? This offense was one of the top offenses in the league. Mahomes leads the league in passing yards. Probably going to be MVP again this year. Takes his team to the Super Bowl. This guy just continually, impresses every time he steps onto the field. I think that Casey's defense should be able to get a little bit of pressure on Hurts. If they can get Hurts moving, making more throws on the run than he is comfortable with, I think they'll definitely have a better chance on defense. And I think Mahomes is going to get this done again on Sunday, and get us another Super Bowl win for him and KC.
I understand. So if you like the Chiefs, and I know we're going to get into player props, what do you want to do with the total? Or do you then feel like the over is going to be in play and the Chiefs are going to be able to score on this tough Eagles defense?
This total seems kind of sharp. Like, I feel like it could be, if anything, I still think that the Chiefs can get it done and it could still go under. Like, I could still see a 28-24 or something like that kind of game. Like, I could still see it going under.
I think it's going to be a perfect game to live bet. Just like I felt that the
27-24, sorry. So right around the total.
The Chiefs-Bengals game, the Chiefs games are great to live bet because we know exactly what Mahomes wants to do, and we know what the Chiefs want to do if they're ahead, and that's slow it down. It's the Brady school of offense.
Definitely.
Chiefs plus 108 money line. Spenny, what's next for you? 2 cappers left for us, and we head over to the West Coast for these ones. And man, does your next capper ever put a smile on my face? I've enjoyed our live stream so immensely. He just brings so much life and action and excitement and humor and knowledge to our channel. Please welcome from San Diego, California, Mr. Sharpie's Bets in the house. Sharpie, how are you, my man?
I'm doing all right. Just got my wang sucked on for how long fucking our guy Spenny was going. I could have told her not to hurry, so feel bad that I got a quick little Hummer, but I mean, I could have enjoyed it, I guess. But let's get to the fucking money.
We are in sweet State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. How you getting paid?
I mean, did you just say it right there? State Farm Stadium with the kid who does the State Farm commercials? I don't even know what people have said they're on or whatnot because I've been getting high and getting Hummers, like I said. But I'm on the Chiefs money line, guys. And do you not know Mahomes' record as a dog ATS? Like, do we need to go there? Do we need to talk about Andy Reid being 27-4 off a bye week? Do we need to talk about 3-0 versus his old team? This is just too much time for one of the best coaches in all of football. You're gonna give me dog money with it? Like, yeah, gotta go with it. I every time he's been a dog, I've been there so far throughout his career, so I'm not fucking backing down now. Joe Buck Nasty couldn't do it, so let's see if these Eagles can. And I'm on the first half over 23.5 at -135. This is something, even with I've been playing Eagles team totals, and instead of going Eagles team total, I really just took both sides. Like I said, I like Andy Reid off a bye week. I like the way the Eagles coach scripts his first 25 plays. The Eagles all year have been a first half team and died out second half. A lot of those times they've had the lead. I get it, but still, they haven't shown me what they can do when they're down we don't know if they're going to be down. We haven't seen that pretty much all freaking year with Jalen Hurts. So went 23.5. I didn't pick the Eagles team total over. Instead, I just took both.
Let's move on. We have one more guest, and we head to Las Vegas, California for him. But he, for whatever reason, he shoots right on screen immediately when he comes on. So he tries to plan it out properly. So I'm expecting him to be on screen here almost any second. Almost any. And now there. Look at it's magic what this man does. Mac Daddy coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. You watch this man cash on every sport that's available to be cashed on. Man, it's so much fun with the horses with you on Saturday. He's the star of all of our college programming, whether it be NCAA football or NCAA basketball. Also, the star alongside Mr. Ghoster of our golf programming. We have the unicorns in Canada who cap all the sports, but there's not many in America. And you are a unicorn in that regard. How are you, my man?
I'm good. I got slapped last week. Everything fell apart with Birdy, and I thought the Eagles, the whole game plan went to shambles. And then even the last game, I thought Kelsey cashed. They took away that last reception, which I didn't know about until later that night. I guess we were on screen. I didn't even see. They took it away. So it was rough, but I'm firing. Let's roll.
We believe in you, C-Mac. Let's get to work right now. Super Bowl 57. Our headliner is here. His name is Conor Mack. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Yeah, I'm on the Eagles here. This is my first bet. I got this a few days ago, but I don't know if I'm going to go full game. This is pretty earlier Tuesday, but I'm on them first quarter. This team was not only one of the best first quarter teams. I got plus 105. It's still around like minus 105 right now, right around there. Not only that, the best first half team. They scored on a ton of first drives. This team I just thought is good early. They're scripted early. So I want the Eagles first quarter touchdown plus 105. I do like, I'm not going to make it official. I do like, I know, Dom said it's down to 12.5. I think they get 2 touchdowns with that as well. So add that on. I'll take the over 12.5, or give me the 12.5, whatever best number you can get.
So your look on the first quarter is a touchdown for the Eagles.
Touchdown first quarter in the plus first quarter, TD plus 105.
Wow, that's God, we've had so many looks that have taken me back. This is an interesting one. Eagles, and then let me just pull up because I've got it up right now. Let me just grab Penny's first half team total. Their team total. You're right. It's minus 129. Do we want to use the team total over 13 instead of 12.5?
Give me the 13. There could be 2 field goals, but the way they go for it on fourth down too much for Sirianni. I mean, I'll go with the 13 or 13.5, whatever you can get.
And I guess we'll close on. Please join us because we're all going to be hanging out together in San Antonio, and every year we're going to do it. So if you can't make it this year, know that this is going to be a yearly thing that we do right at this time, right at the end of March. Pub Up Palooza, and of course, I think we need to fix this sign because there's no slap fest there, Jose, and it's become a big selling point. It's become a hell of a selling point. Track your action and get that cash. And thank you for supporting us at Pub Sports Radio. Super Bowl 57 is next. Join us on Super Sunday and let's get fucking paid. Leche, a Los Bookmaker.